take refuge in the one bright mind, in the teachings of Dharma, and in the practice of the Sangha. I've been pondering rebirth, reincarnation. And if I have a choice, I'd like to have my 55-year-old self be reborn. I figure the 55-year-old self has still got energy and still bright enough, intelligent enough. But it would be even nicer if to have my 17-year-old self be reborn, because my 17-year-old self had a much better memory. But those two selves are kind of ignorant too. So partly I'd like to have this self be reborn, but this self is also senescent. So we talk about reborn, going to be reborn. What are we talking about? What does that mean, to actually be reborn, to have rebirth? What does it mean? It's very important that we understand what is it that's alive, so we have an understanding of what comes next. And obviously, at our human level, everything is just changing constantly. So, the self that I am right now is going to die. It'll be gone next week, tomorrow. I won't even remember who this is. And the part of us that we're so fixated on, I got to be me, I got to be real, where's that go? Next year, who'll care about that? We'll have another me, another real thing. So it's very important that we really look in and see what is it that's alive right now, because until we understand what is it that's alive right now, we have no understanding, no hope of understanding the rich implications of karma, the rich implications of how we move forward in this mysterious way in the universe. If we look carefully at what's alive, we look at what is present. Obviously, thoughts are changing, emotions are changing, our physical body is changing, all the elements of the body keep changing, our circumstances change, the people who are around us change, the weather changes, everything changes. So to know what is it that's alive means we have to actually go before all of those changes. And not only before it, but we actually have to be aware of that presence that is before all change and how it permeates all change. So to let the mind be really still allows us to see something perhaps for the first time. For the mind to be really calm, for us to be unruffled, allows us to look directly at the substratum of existence and to see the infinite movement that happens at a nanoscopic second, moment by moment. So one way I often like to do this is you close your eyes and you look directly behind your eyelids at the visual field, and you look into that, whatever you see, darkness or light, and you see that behind the eyelids, looking directly at that field, there's an infinite number of particles of light and dark that are constantly moving and flickering, and yet the field goes nowhere. And when the mind is still, and we have not yet created anything with our conceptual mind, that awareness of the infinite motion of stillness becomes apparent. And then we can watch life presenting itself and disappearing, presenting itself and disappearing, presenting itself and disappearing, without changing at all. So that gives us a certain confidence when we're facing these real issues about the disasters of our time or the personal trajectory of our particular life, to actually have tasted, even to some degree, the infinite depth and stillness of our own being. And then to actually work so that that infinite depth and stillness we're aware of through all movement, through all the creations of our mind, and that it functions without going anywhere. Touching that gives a great sense of respect, a great sense of awe, a great sense of confidence, a great sense of deep acceptance. So, my deep wish is that we all can touch this fundamental level of reality, which is the foundation of our life. And then, when we see what is alive, we also know what happens when we die. Maybe so.